We've made it to stretch. How are you feeling? Are you ready for this one? This is just going to be a nice stretching session. You're going to love this. All right, so I am just starting crisscross applesauce. We're in kindergarten again. Crisscross applesauce and just sitting up nice and tall. We're just going to breathe through all of these stretches today. We're just going to stretch out the back and then the hamstrings and the hip flexors and the chest, and it's going to feel incredible. Okay, what I want you to do now is just take one arm, doesn't matter which, and I just want you to start sweeping it across. And then put that arm down. And then stretch with the other arm. Sweep it across and down. So I have my other arm at the side, and I'm really stretching over and into it. Try to keep both glutes on the ground as you do this. You should feel your back, your spine, your core, just everything loosening up. Reaching it across. We're just sweeping across. Breathing through it. Sweeping across. Wonderful. Sweeping it across. Rotating into it. Sweeping across. Wonderful. One more each side. Sweep it across. And then sweep it across. Good. Now we're going to stretch it over to the side. So now we're keeping that chest up. And to the other side. Stretching it over and up. Stretching it over and up. Good. Stretching it over and up. And this is a dynamic stretch, so I'm not holding in any of these positions. We're just moving through it. We're getting the body a little bit warm and getting ready for all of our stretches today. Stretching it over, and one more to the other side. Wonderful. Okay. Now I want you to take one leg. I'm going to take my right leg, cross it over top of the left. So my right leg is on top. I'm going to reach up with my left arm, and I'm going to twist. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to look over my right shoulder, and I'm twisting through the spine. Again, keeping both glutes on the ground, feeling the rotation through your spine and breathing through it. Wonderful. Another breath here. Trying to rotate a little bit more and out. Wonderful. Come on back to center, changing legs. So now I'm going to take my left leg over top of my right, lifting up my right arm, and I'm going to rotate over that leg. Oh, keeping both glutes on the ground and just rotating, trying to look behind. Breathing through it, sitting up nice and tall, like there's a string pulling your head up to the ceiling. Wonderful. Another breath here. Good. Trying to twist and rotate a little bit more into the spine. Good. Okay, come into a butterfly sit, soles of your feet together, hands on your ankles, and just hinging forward. That feels nice. Okay, so what I am doing here is I'm with a flat back, I'm hinging at the hips. So I'm not like curling in and trying to reach my head to my toes. That's not the stretch. I'm actually trying to reach my chest to my feet. Okay, so a nice flat back, just hinging at the hips. And breathing through it. Trying to keep those soles of your feet together. You can press those knees down a little bit. Wonderful. One more breath here. Good. And coming on up. Let's go into a hip flexor stretch. So we're going to come on to a half kneel. One knee is in front and one leg is back. Okay, what I want you to do here, first of all, your knee is over top of your ankle. We're not passing the toes here right now. What I want you to do is I have my hands on my hips, and I want you to think about tilting those hips under you. So I've taken my hips and I'm tilting them under, and then I'm just going to press forward just slightly, just enough so you feel right in the front of that hip flexor opening up. Okay, you can even try to lean back a little bit to get it a little bit deeper. Okay, breathing through it, really keeping those hips tucking under. Good. One more quick breath here. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to press back into a hamstring stretch. So keeping these feet where they are, but we're just going to press it back now. Now, this is totally based on your flexibility here. This up here might be your hamstring stretch. That's awesome. Own it. Okay, if you can get down a little bit lower, If you can, whatever you can do to get into the back of that front leg. Keeping your toe up will add in a calf stretch as well. All right, cool. Again, totally based on your flexibility. Go to your range, to your level. And just breathing through it. Wonderful. We've worked hard. We've worked hard the past few days. We got to repair. We got to stretch and repair. Awesome. All right, coming on up. So now we're just going to rock a little bit into those two stretches. We're going to do our hip flexor stretch. Good. So pressing that hip forward, tucking the hips under, but still pressing it forward, and then right back into the hamstring stretch. Nice. Let's just do that a couple times, moving through that. We go from the hip flexor, good, and then back to the hamstring. Nice. Let's do that 2 more times. Hip flexor, good, and then hamstring. Wonderful. We just need 1 more here. Hip flexor, and then hamstring. Nice. All right, let's change legs. Super graceful. Just changing it over. Okay, so start first with that hip flexor stretch. Okay, so I have my hands on my hips, and I'm really focusing on tucking those hips underneath, pressing through, leaning back, just feeling that hip flexor right in the front, opening up and stretching through it and breathing. We all sit so much. We spend so much time either driving or watching Netflix or just sitting at our desks all day. We got to open up those hip flexors. Wonderful. Stretch it, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it. Yes. Good. Okay, into the hamstring now. So now we're just going to sit back. Again, wherever your level is, your range, don't push it. I want you to feel tension, but it shouldn't be painful tension, okay? We want to be comfortable, but still slightly uncomfortable. We have to actually push it a little bit, but if it's painful, then we've gone too far, okay? So if this is your stretch, that's amazing. Go to your level here. Wonderful. Toes up will help you get into the calf as well. Good, and just stretching it forward. And the more you kind of walk your hands forward, you can even get a bit of a spine stretch. Also, all this stuff is so good for your body. Okay, good. We're going to rock between those 2 stretches again. So coming up a little bit. Okay, here's our hip flexor again. Really tucking those hips under and pressing into it for that hip flexor to open up. And then press back into the hamstring. Press back into it. Good. We're going to do that 3 more times. So we have hip flexor, pressing through. I love these 2 stretches together. And then hamstring. And you'll find as you warm up and do this, you'll be able to get a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper. 2 more. Here's hip flexor. Good. And then hamstring. Wonderful. And just 1 more each. Here's our hip flexor. Good. And then into our hamstring. Wonderful. You're doing awesome. We're almost there. All right, both legs down. Cat and cow. We're going to stretch into the core, into the back a little bit more, moving into the upper back. All right, so what we're going to do here is tuck the chin into your chest, tuck your tailbone underneath, and really feel your shoulder blades separating. Here's our cat. Feel your shoulder blades separating in the back. Pull them apart, pull them apart, pull them apart, pull them apart. Good. Now we're going to reverse this. We're going to press your chest down to the ground. You're going to look up to the ceiling and lift your tailbone up to the ceiling also. You should feel your core really lengthening out. Good. Let's do that a couple more times. Tucking your chin in, opening up your shoulder blades, tucking your tailbone under, really pressing your core, your belly button into your spine. Good. And then reverse it. Chest goes down, eyes go up. Good, tailbone goes up. 1 more time each. Tucking it under, opening those shoulder blades. Amazing. And then pressing the chest back down, looking up. Wonderful. All right, you've earned it. Press back into child's pose. Okay, in child's pose, have your knees separated. Give yourself some room to get down. Okay, so here is our child's pose. I want you to, now I have my mic here, so I'm not resting my head down, but you are welcome to rest your forehead down on the ground and really relax through the neck, through the shoulders, but it's an active stretch. So you can see my fingers are actually trying to keep walking out, walking out, walking out. I'm trying to get my hands out away as far as I can. Awesome. So glutes are pressing back into your heels. We're lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the body, and breathing into this child's pose. So I'm not just like hanging out here. That's not what I'm doing. I'm active. It's an active stretch, trying to lengthen and lengthen and lengthen. Good. Booty's going back one way, but arms are going forward the other. Perfect. Take your right arm, tuck it underneath the left. You'll love this one. Here's a shoulder stretch for you. So I'm keeping my chest still parallel to the ground, and I'm still walking my fingertips. I have my left fingertips walking forward, my right fingertips trying to walk away from me. Okay, I'm just stretching into that shoulder. Breathe here for a moment. Good, good, good. Opening it up, opening it up. Wonderful. Come back to center, taking your left arm, tucking it underneath the right. I'm just opening through that shoulder, still trying to get nice and low, fingertips walking away from you in that child's pose. Amazing. Well, you're doing really great through our stretching session. If any of these felt really good to you, you're welcome to come on back and redo some of these stretches, whichever one felt good to you. Come on back to it. Our bodies all need different things. So, do what feels good to you. All right, come on back to child's pose. Hang out here as long as you need. Thank you for joining me for this stretch session. I'll see you in the next one.